ranking every VHS movie from worst to best. Now, if you've never heard of VHS, these are found footage horror movies that started all the way back in 2012. Each one is built around a main tape, or framing tape as I like to call it, where the main story is split up between all the other tapes, usually giving us around 5 to 6 total segments per film. And I know what you're thinking, do the tapes in each movie all connect by the end? And the answer is no, they rarely do, where most of the time it's just a loose theme tying the entire film together. So even if you don't fully agree with my order, I'm ranking every single tape across the entire franchise from the least scariest to the most terrifying, so it'll feel like you're watching the whole series in one go. And make sure to stick around till the very end, where I'll make a super tape with my top 6 picks from across all the movies. So if that version of VHS actually existed, it would easily be a 5 out of 5 horror masterpiece. Up first, easily the worst of the bunch, we got VHS Viral. Now this movie definitely lived up to its title as the worst VHS movie, but it's mainly because of the damn ice cream truck seizure-inducing framing tape, which follows a wannabe viral filmmaker who tries to film an ice cream truck in a police chase while other people trying to film it start disappearing or going crazy. Now, most found footage films get a little annoying with the glitching camera effect or feel like they're filming a school fight, but for this one, just imagine the worst and then amplify that shit by 100. And even though this one did have some guy's legs get slowly scraped off while dangling off a car, this one was an absolute stinky garbage of a tape that truly ruins the whole movie, so get this dog shit tape out of here. Next, we got tape 3, Dante the Great. This one was the definition of a fun, terrible time. It was not scary at any means, but I would be lying if I wasn't entertained by evil Doctor Strange, who had a cursed robe that eats people in order to use its magical powers. But still, the only true magic in this one was how they just fully gave up on the found footage part. It literally just started showing anything it wanted to show, with Dante randomly using his camera to openly murder people and kind of just turn into an actual movie. Like, how lazy can you actually get?
Sorry, my dear.
Next, we got tape 4, which follows a group of 4 skateboarders trying to make a wild skate video in Tijuana, but end up somehow summoning a demonic cult. This one had the most inconsistent tone shifts out of any VHS tape I've seen. I couldn't tell if it wanted us to enjoy it as a John Wick fight scene or a horror scene, with the skate kids not even seeming to be scared in their 4v100 by the foreign skeleton cult, because 2 of their buddies get absolutely ripped apart and they just don't care at all. Still, even though this really felt like those YouTube 2015 parkour videos where the scary people are chasing that guy around, it was another one that was so bad it was low-key entertaining. And easily in the #1 spot, which isn't saying a lot, we got tape 3, Parallel Monsters. This one follows a foreign scientist who makes a portal to a parallel universe and swaps places with his other self for 15 minutes. And he quickly finds out that the other universe is ran by Satan devil hybrid people. I think this one had potential to be really scary, but kind of became goofy instead when the devil hybrid design started looking like truck headlights. Still, I can appreciate the unique design for these hybrid humans, like the hand devil puppets for Johnson's, and the Resident Evil coochies made me a little unsettled, so easily the best tape of the movie. Next, we got VHS 85. This overall was kind of a mediocre VHS movie with really only one standout tape and another one I respected, but nowhere near my top 5. And I heard this one was one of the most consistent ones, so I was a tad disappointed. So in the last spot for this movie, we got tape 6, God of Death. This one follows a Mexican news crew that gets murked by a DEFCON 5 level earthquake and are all forced underground where a cursed Aztec god attacks them. I feel like it could have been more like The Descent, but somehow found a way to avoid the big fear of claustrophobia, and instead it just had a few little gore moments, mediocre supernatural elements, and was kind of boring. Next, we got the framing tape from this movie, Total Copy. This one follows university scientists studying a shapeshift mimic named Rory who somehow doesn't do any fucking shapeshifting. I really thought this shit was building up to something crazy, but instead it was yet another very disappointing framing tape. Like, the mimic's final form was so freaking lame and didn't go anywhere. Next. In the 4th spot, we got tape 4. This is one of the only tapes in the entire franchise to directly tie with another tape, which is tape 2, No Wake, in this movie. This one follows the killer of that tape with her family celebrating her 7 kills, but very quickly, police raid the killer cult's family house, and it ends in a revenge story for the victims of tape 2, giving their killer a fate worse than death. At the end of the day, the only fun thing this one actually did was be the first to officially connect 2 tapes in the franchise. Otherwise, it was just alright. In the 3rd spot, we got tape 5. This one was mad annoying and kind of slow, even with it being the shortest tape. Featuring a performance artist who screams in a mic for a Pink Floyd amount of time, mocking technology gods. But it low-key stuck the landing with some good body horror, like legs getting ripped off, eyes getting shocked out of their sockets after she got a VR headset stuck on her head. So other than those elements, this one was again just alright. In the 2nd spot, we got tape 2, No Wake. This is the one that directly ties to tape 4 in this movie and follows 4 friends who get brutally shot down on a boat by a phased Jason Bourne level threat in a pet cemetery lake. So obviously they're resurrected with their disgusting body horror wounds still intact. Like one girl's chin is hanging on by a thread and one guy's brains are just falling out. So the gore here definitely lived up to my satisfaction, and like I said previously, this is connected to 2 tapes, which is cool, but this part of the tape was definitely better. And easily the best tape from this movie is tape 6, Dream Kill. This one has a lot going on with it, where a detective is investigating tapes sent to him in the killer's point of view before the murders even happen, only to discover a goth teenager who claims to see his dreams as recorded videos, leading to a strange family secret. Even though some of the investigating parts in this are a little too coincidental, the sections filled in the point of view of the killer using Super 8 filmed mixed with the terrifying soundtrack might make it one of the best tapes in the entire franchise. It still doesn't beat Ratman from VHS 94 though. But overall, it had very disturbing close-up gore, like the killer skinning victims alive, ripping limbs off, cutting fingers off, and gouging eyes out. It really reminded me of tapes I'd see in Sinister, so just for that, it's easily the best from this movie. Next, we got the original VHS. Okay, now hear me out. I know some of y'all probably hold high standards for the original, but my theory going into this franchise was that we got ourselves into a Final Destination scenario where the first film isn't as good as the others, but still sparked the revolutionary idea that let the others go crazy. And I am proud to have stayed loyal to this initial thought, because this one compared to the others is just a good baseline movie for the franchise. And there's also not a single tape in this shit that doesn't have at least one part where it gets somewhat freaky in the sheets. So damn it, I can confirm 2012 was just a universal horny year for movies. Easily in last spot, we have tape 4. This one's just a speedrun found footage version of Friday the 13th, with Jason Voorhees being a teleporting mystery glitch man. This is the weakest from the movie because it's a little goofy and the camera glitches way too much, which gets hella distracting. So glitch this shit out of here. Next we got tape 6, which follows a group of 4 guys who go to what they think is a Halloween party, but accidentally crash an exorcism in progress inside an actual haunted house. There were a few fun scares and the feeling of being trapped in that house. Otherwise, it was just an alright baseline tape for this movie. Next, we got tape 3, Second Honeymoon. Surprisingly learned, this one's directed by Ty West, where a married couple goes on a road trip and gets stalked by someone who keeps filming them while they sleep, ending with an extremely real bloody knife twist. The buildup in this is a little slow, but has a very solid payoff. It just takes way too long to get there. Still, what made me like this more than the last tape is that it felt real. It was something that could actually happen in real life, while the others rely heavily on supernatural stuff. Third spot, we have the tape that started it all. This framing tape follows a group of delinquents who break into a house to steal a mysterious VHS tape, and of course, they watch it and crazy shit starts happening around them. There were actually a few good scares here, like the creepy man in the basement. Scary. The walking down the stairs scene, but there was no build-up, it all just kind of happened. Next we got tape 5. This is told entirely through webcam chats, where it follows a woman who calls her boyfriend to help investigate her possibly haunted apartment. And it turns out bro is not what he seems and maybe works for aliens. This one uses the camera as a flashlight scare really well, which I always mess with.
I didn't see anything. No. Mm-mm. Whoa. Emily! Emily!
But right when I thought this one had potential to be one of the best, it kind of just ended abruptly. But easily in the #1 spot, we have tape 2, Amateur Nights, where a group of really freaky guys secretly record themselves with some OG makeshift Meta Ray-Ban glasses so they can film romantic shenanigans with a random girl, who turns out to be a mimic flying devil creature. So even though this trio of guys are probably one of the most annoying brain rot bros of all time, especially Patrick, who laughs 24/7.
Dude, what's up, man?
I'm just fucking sitting on the couch, dude. Jeez.
This is the pinnacle and baseline tape I use to compare to all the other banger tapes in my VHS journey. Up next, we got VHS Beyond. Now hear me out again. I know a lot of people like this one and say it's one of the most consistent in the franchise, but it's pretty much all sci-fi and alien based, and the camera quality is almost a little too clean for damn near all the tapes, making it instantly not as scary as the other movies, and I need to get scared for me to love a VHS movie. The last tape for this movie is easily the framing tape. This one is a documentary style framing tape where a Redditor, and holy hell, you can definitely tell just by the way bro yaps.
He never declared that he was being visited by aliens. They might have said poltergeist or ghost.
But bro buys cassette tapes that link to all the other alien encounter segments, and the actual corridor pulls up in this, making it feel like it was building up to be the best framing tape in the franchise, but then again, nothing fucking happened. I might as well have just watched the Corridor Crew alien encounter episode instead of this shit, because I really got nothing out of it. Next we got tape 6. This one follows a woman chasing UFO footage and is the one and only bad quality tape, which makes it actually feel like an actual alien encounter, which instantly gets scarier, making me think it was gonna be the best tape. But then for her dumbass decision to actually go into an alien spaceship and start touching shit like she was a toddler took me out of it. On top of that, the body horror part of this had no build up and felt like if the substance just skipped to the last 10 minutes of the film and didn't show any of the slow progression. Next we got tape 3, Dream Girl. This one follows two paparazzi bros who sneak into a famous Bollywood star's trailer to find out she might be an evil robot witch that rips everyone apart. Not making any promises though. This one had a low-key catchy song that I didn't mind them playing for a music video amount of time. And there was also a face melting scene, a face rip-off scene, and arms getting dismembered like what Lego Chewbacca would do to stormtroopers. And yes, I know, very niche awe reference, so this one's another fun time. In the third spot, we have tape 2, Stork. This one moves very quick and is told through all body cams of police officers investigating infant kidnappings, which leads them into a house filled with zombie creatures, which quickly turns into a hardcore Henry stylized alien zombie killing spree. This one was kind of a blast. It had a few unsettling moments at the end with unique creature designs like the stork, the alien guy walking around like, hell nah. And on top of that, some solid gore, so yes, I kind of messed with this one. In the second spot, we have tape 4. This one follows a group of skydivers who collide with a UFO and crash into an orange grove, only to get brutally attacked by goofy-looking Quiet Place aliens. This one was easily the most entertaining, and again, it felt like a parkour hardcore Henry video, and even though the alien design looked like something I would see in a 2015 YouTube video, the reveal that there were 2 aliens around 1 hour in jump scared my ass like crazy. And kind of the standout tape of this movie was tape 5, called Fur Babies. This one is surprisingly directed by Justin Long, and it follows journalists investigating a creepy dog daycare owner who is obviously gonna turn people into human-sized dogs. Now, I think we all know the only reason Justin Long directed this shit is because he wanted payback for what happened to him in Tusk, because it's all way too similar. And even though the final forms of these dogs were super creepy and uncanny, right when I was getting really into this one, it just ended abruptly, so I was really disappointed there. In the fourth movie rankings, we got VHS 99. And again, hear me out, cause I feel like I'm in the minority liking this movie over Beyond. But it's because I think this is one of the most entertaining and well-rounded VHS movies with no absolute stinkers. And it has 2 tapes that were somewhat scary compared to Beyond that didn't have any terrifying tapes, so... Easily in last, we have tape 1, Shredding, which isn't the framing tape because this movie was weird. But I'll get to that later. This one follows 4 members of a punk rock band band who break into an abandoned music venue that had a tragic past fire accident, so of course they're attacked by burnt up punk rock zombies. So even though this one has some solid gore and creature design, this is last because it spams the glitched camera effect. I would have assumed they learned their lesson with VHS Viral, but I guess not. Still, I just didn't care for the punk rock crew we were following, and it was filled with goofy horror cliches and evens out to kind of be a stinker that I said this movie didn't have any of, so oops. Next we got Tape 5. Now there's a lot I can appreciate from this one with how fast paced it is and the solid hell/devil creature designs, but the tone of this one was constantly very jokingly, causing me not to take it very seriously and lower the stakes.
These witches were trying to summon a powerful demon into this woman's body.
What name did they try to summon?
Oh shit, I don't remember. Something
It was like Qui-Gon or Pokemon or some shit.
Really, Nick?
But I really messed with how this tape is literally just two bros accidentally getting sucked into hell. And it sucks that it was kind of a sad ending because I was rooting for them, especially Party Hat Troy. In the third spot, we have Tape 4. This one follows a group of really freaky, relatable teenagers who are also the kids who filmed the technical framing tape at the beginning of this movie involving a claymation of toy soldiers. Anyways, they create a spy camera on their neighborhood crush's webcam and discover she might be a cousin of totally not Medusa or anything. So even though this one was easily the most entertaining and funnest from the movie, with a bro literally starting to bark at the girl, it just wasn't scary at all. In the second spot, we have the second tape, Sewer Slide Bid. This one obviously follows a sewer slide bid sorority chick who's hazed into spending the night buried alive. And when I say literally everything that could go wrong went wrong, with spiders swarming her, water flooding the coffin, and a damn zombie coming to eat her. So even though the supernatural part of this shit was kind of, the fear and claustrophobia element of this one kind of hit home for me. And easily in the #1 spot for this movie, we have Tape 3, Ozzy's Dungeon. This one follows a scenario where Trevor from GTA hosts a 90s kids game show. So as you'd expect, it's a complete shit show where the show ends with a leg injury that's mad gory, and they even replay that bitch multiple times. But this one leads to the family of the injured contestant wanting revenge, forcing Trevor into a disgusting torture chamber version of the 90s TV show Obstacle Course. So this makes it into one of the most disgusting and unsanitary tapes out of the entire franchise. Absolutely nailing certain aspects like rotting unintended leg injury, and obviously the set design for both the original 90s show and the redone version, with both feeling so dirty, especially with Trevor sliding in feces with open wounds. So yes, this is easily the best tape from this freaking movie. Here are the top 3 VHS movies ranked worst to best. Picking it into the top 3 with VHS 2. Now we have officially gotten to the point where I would recommend you watch all 3 of the next ranks. Especially if you wanted to start somewhere in this franchise, because they're all at least a 3.5 out of 5 or higher. With sadly last being Tape 3, A Ride in the Park. This follows a biker with a GoPro who turns into a zombie, and it's literally from the point of view of the zombie the whole tape. Even though this one weirdly tried to give the zombie a personality, which was a little goofy, besides warm bodies, we've never really gotten to see a movie from the zombie's point of view, so this was kind of a blast. Next we got Tape 2. This one follows a guy who gets a new experimental eye implant, and once he has it, he starts seeing things he really shouldn't, forcing him to see things similar to the Sixth Sense kid. Now, I enjoyed the gimmick for this one and how it's told. It just wasn't scary and filled with a lot of cheap jump scares. Also definitely feels the most like Black Mirror out of all the tapes, so I kind of messed with it. In the third spot, we have the framing tape from this movie. This one follows 2 private investigators who break into a house looking for a missing college kid. Then they obviously start watching tapes inside, very similar to the OG VHS, and things start getting weird very quickly. The end of this one surprised me with 2 solid headshots, some creepy exorcist crawling, and some body horror with the college kid's face they found, evening out to be one of the best framing stories in my VHS journey. Still, that being said, the scariest part about this one is how the main guy in this looks way too similar to 407, who, if you didn't know, was Scotty from the Vanoss crew. In the second spot, we have Tape 5, Slumber Party Alien Abduction. And yes, the title of this tape is literally what happens, but what I love about this one is it gets to the point quickest out of almost all of the tapes I've watched. I feel like the aliens in this one could have been hella corny, but the found footage aspect with the lighting and the sound design kind of nailed it. I surprisingly actually cared about the characters, even with how fast this one moves, and they brutally kill a dog in this shit, which definitely started to get me unsettled. And easily in the number 1 spot, we have tape 4, Safe Haven. This one is the definite standout. Holy shit. It follows a documentary crew who goes to film inside of a secluded Indonesian cult, which leads to everything I want from a goated VHS tape. It had great gore, with a lot of people Kurt Cobaining themselves, a close-up box cutter kill, encountering the second pregnant lady, and then encountering the main pregnant lady who gives birth to, I don't know, Big Satan Baby Jr.
Don't run or I'm gonna pin you down.
So for the most part, it felt very realistic, like it could actually happen until the end, of course, but still is easily a top 5 tape of the entire franchise. Next. The second spot in this one was number 1 for a while until I magically rewatched one of the other movies. We got VHS 94. This one's one of the best because each tape actually feels like they were found footage, like something filmed a long time ago, not just some regular iPhone quality videotape. There's really just one dog shit tape, with the rest having something I respect about them. Oh, speak of the devil, easily coming in last, we got the framing tape. Tape follows a SWAT team that raids what they think is a drug warehouse. It turns out to be a girl devil agent scenario, I think. Pretty hard to remember because literally nothing happened in this.
Dog shit.
The movie would only focus on this tape for less than 2 minutes before switching to the next. Ending had a really goofy final girl power moment with not a good enough payoff for anything to be memorable. We got tape 5, which follows a militia group who are holding captive a well-known supernatural creature, which they reveal at the very last seconds. Finally do reveal it. I don't know if that's actually how the creature works. Adding on top of that, it's a slow burn, but it still had a unique creature design, 2 people's faces getting eaten off, and 3 people violently explode, so this one surprisingly stuck the landing. In the third spot, we have tape 3, Empty Wake. This one follows a funeral home worker who is left alone during a wake, and obviously the corpse isn't gonna be actually dead. It's mainly told through only 3 camera angles that were gonna be used to film the funeral, which forces it to come up with some creative scares, kind of. This one's a little slow with its build-up, but once the reveal happens with the corpse, which had fantastic practical effects, it turns into a fun, spooky clicker from The Last of Us 1v1. In the second spot, we have tape 4, The Subject. This one follows a foreign scientist who is pretty much if the old guy from Tusk, Jigsaw, and D.A. Sinclair from Invincible all had a baby. He creates human body horror cyborgs, and one of the cyborgs tried to escape while a SWAT team is raiding the lab. The design for the monsters in this creates solid body horror and is filled with additional gore like limbs getting ripped off. And even though this one's an insane wild time and said to be some of people's favorite tape ever, I definitely wouldn't say it's the scariest of this movie because easily in the number 1 spot, we got tape 2, Storm Drain. This one follows a news reporter and her cameraman Jeff, who is the chillest man of all time. Rest in peace though, Jeff. As they head into a sewer drain to investigate the legend of the Rat Man, which goes not really as you would expect. First off, the creature design is actually insane. Literally a rat man in xenomorph form. There were 2 close-ups of people's faces getting melted off. I thought it was just gonna be a rat man who kills them, but instead it turned into a cult following vibe, which somehow made it even scarier. And also the old oiled up man, pause, smiling at 15 minutes in was more unsettling than the entire last movie combined. Not the last movie ranked, but the movie before this movie, which was VHS viral. But still, what I'm getting at is this is easily a top 3 scariest tape for me. Now before the number 1 spot, if you're somehow at this point in the video, please, for the love of God, drop a like and follow, cause I put my heart and soul into my content and I think you would enjoy it. And somehow the standout movie in my VHS journey was VHS Halloween. This is probably the most generational and most beneficial rewatch I've had in my entire life. This went from initially being a 2.5 out of 5, sitting as one of the worst movies in the franchise for a while, to a whopping 4 out of 5 and easily the best and true standout film of the entire series. So I genuinely don't know how I didn't recognize greatness on my first watch. So why did everything change on this rewatch? First off, every tape in this movie has something shocking, something gory, or most importantly, something scary. That's where most other VHS movies drop the ball. Usually 1 or 2 tapes are completely duds, but this one defies VHS stereotypes and gives me everything I want in the freaking franchise. Next, I think it easily has the best framing tape, where I kept waiting for one of the other movies to have a standout one, but it was right in front of me the whole time. Diet Phantasma is easily the best. Literally something crazy goes down in every freaking snippet of that segment. And if you don't count tape 4, Safe Haven from VHS 2 as a foreign tape, I think VHS Halloween has the best foreign tape in the entire franchise as well. So if I were to rank VHS Halloween post rewatch now, somehow last we have the third tape, Ut Supra Sink Ifra. This is the foreign investigation tape that I just hyped up, where the only survivor of a massacre picks up an evil phone, gets possessed, and kills all the other investigators. So even though it's one of the best foreign tapes in the entire franchise, it still lands last here, which just shows how stacked the rest of the movie is. Next, we got the fourth tape, Fun Size. This follows a group that gets sucked into a sus candy box tray after they took more than one piece, and a candy man turns them all into candy. Now, initially, I went way too hard on this before. It actually had some disgusting gore that made me feel very unsanitary. And it's clear they were going all in on the goofiness on purpose, literally saying, we dressed up as found footage horror people for this Halloween. So even though, again, this is still some shit I would see on my YouTube recommended in 2015, it was such a fun, goofy time. In the fourth spot, we have the final tape, House of Horrors. This one follows the owner of a haunted house who plays some cursed music record and makes his haunted house of horrors come to life, murdering everyone inside. On this rewatch, I did not remember it being this gory, but holy shit, there was at least 3 kids who get brutally ripped in half, which completely caught me off guard, making this one a very recommended watch for me. In the third spot, we have the main tape I was hyping up, Diet Phantasma. Literally just what I was saying. So much happened here on this rewatch, and I love the head scientist guy. He is such a goofy cartoon villain, and it works. It just works. Next, we got the second tape, Gucci Gucci Goo. This one follows 2 girls who get stuck in a haunted house with a Gucci Gucci Goo 6-nipple milk mommy who turns people into adult babies. On rewatch, there is so much subtle foreshadowing in this that makes it super rewatchable. It's also super disgusting and way scarier the second time, like the girl getting suffocated by milk was a rough watch. And easily in today's #1 spot, we have the fifth tape, Kid Print. This one follows a small town video store owner who creates kid print recordings used to ID children, who discovers someone he works with is a serial killer who kidnaps kids, tortures them, and brutally rips off their skin so he can wear them as accessories. Now, I really do think Kid Print might be the scariest tape in the entire franchise. It's truly neck and neck with Ratman, but what makes it hit so hard is how realistic it is. Like, this could actually happen, and the ending is the cherry on top, knowing that that sick fuck actually got away with it. So that being said, here are the top 5 scariest VHS tapes in the entire VHS franchise, where if you were to compile all of these and make it into a super tape, it would easily be the best found footage movie to ever exist. In the 5th spot, we have tape 6 from VHS 85, Dream Kill. This one has Super 8 tapes that remind me so much of Sinister in the killer's point of view. So even though the rest of the story is not as strong, those point of view killings were top tier. In the 4th spot, we have tape 4 from VHS 2, Safe Haven. And if you remember, this is the Indonesian cult one that has so much going on in it. Definitely worth checking out. And if it counts as a foreign tape, it's the best in the franchise. In the 3rd spot, we got tape 2 from the original VHS, Amateur Night. This one's the one with the mimic flying devil creature, and it's such a good tape that it inspired a spin-off movie called Siren. So that's when you know this shit's next level. In the 2nd spot, we got tape 2 from VHS 94, Storm Drain, which is the Ratman tape, and remember, this one was so close to being the #1. It is actually that scary. In the honorable mention spot, we have Diet Phantasma from VHS Halloween. This shit needs to get mentioned because it's the best framing tape in the entire franchise. In the 2nd honorable mention spot, we got tape 4 from VHS 94, The Subject. And even though this one's not that scary, it was just a really, really good tape with solid body gore. And in the 3rd honorable mention spot, we have tape 3 from VHS 99, Ozzy's Dungeon. This is the Trevor from GTA PTA hosting a kids game show one, and is easily the most unsanitary and uncomfortable one, so it needs to be mentioned. Now again, before the number 1 spot, if you haven't hit the follow button, what the hell are you doing? Help a brother out. This shit was not easy to make. And easily in the number 1 spot, we have the 5th tape from VHS Halloween Kid Print. This tape is the most realistic and disturbing one I've ever seen. So if you want to get traumatized for life, please go watch this one. End of discussion.